Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, I'm going to give you guys 10 quick tips on how to push prestiges as quickly as possible. You can use it just for trophies in general. So I've been playing a bunch of Brawl Stars since the update dropped. You know, prestiges have completely changed the way that you grind Brawl Stars right now. There's some really good tips which I think a lot of people are missing out on. So the first tip is actually the best one. Yeah, I'm giving you guys it straight away. I don't care about like the view time or retention on here. I'm giving you guys the best one. So the best one, people don't talk about enough, is to play game modes with low play rates. Let's jump into the reasonings why. So a really good website to see this type of data is Brawltics. I'll be going through a bunch of websites in today's video, but this is a really good graph to show game mode popularity. You might be wondering, why is this even important? Well, let me tell you guys, because there's a lot of sweats right now on ladder, and just in Brawl Stars in general. I typically play Brawl. I'm a sweat. You know, I put my hands up. Oh, wow, I've been exposed. But as I was saying, like a lot of the pros or the real ladder grinders will be playing Brawl. It's faster games. You know, you can play a lot of different brawlers. You got Solo Showdown as well. But it's very important if you're a casual player or just of lower skilled and you want those easier prestiges, it's better to push the game modes that don't have a big play rate. I mean, you guys might not enjoy. I mean, at the end of the day, Brawl Stars is a game to have fun, right? If you don't enjoy it, if it's game modes, I'm not forcing you guys to play them, but it is a really good trick. And I see a lot of the fraud prestige pushers and just fraud rank 35 pushers in the past. They would do it this way, guys. I mean, there's no shame in it, but at the same time, so let's talk about it. So you've got like Brawl Hockey again. 2.2 play rate. You've got Brawl Arena 1.9. You've got Basketball 1. 5 versus 5 is a gold mine for a lot of these noobs. So the reason why this is so important is because, you know, most of the player base, they're going to play in these game modes. Well, you can sneakily play. So a lot of these game modes as well, there won't be a lot of teams playing these modes. So the reason why I say this is because in terms of matchmaking, it's a lot easier to face off against randoms, right? A lot of these game modes are just going to be full of randoms. So these are just going to be full of players that are probably playing on a lunch break or playing on the bus ride home or wherever. That's going to be loaded into a quick game, and they're going to be forced to play against you if you're playing a really sweaty composition in Brawl Hockey, for example. You're playing like B, you're playing like Great, I don't know, a lot of sweaty brawlers in Brawl Hockey. But you get what I mean. It's just a lot easier, trust me, guys. A lot of people push these lesser gamers to avoid the sweats, but also to play against those bad randoms. So this is the best tip by far. Tip number 2 is such an easy one, and easier said than done. And people are always frustrated about this, literally since Brawl Stars first came out. It is finding good teammates. But there are a few tips and ways to find good teammates, guys. Trust me, you need to do it. So the first tip is to join my Discord, or just join any creator's Discord. Mine is discord.gg/spen, and just try and find a good teammate there. And a way to find a good teammate is to find someone of similar level, or maybe even just a bit better than you. So the way to judge by player's skill is by like 3 versus 3 wins in terms of ranked level, in terms of trophy level, or just, you know, playing a few games with that person, and hey, if you start losing, there's no shame in just, you know, leaving and try and find some better teammates or just people that suit you. I don't know. That's the best way to find people, through Discord. That's how I found my teammates all the way in the past in dinosaur days. That's how I found Tom and Cerulean back then. That's just how I'm connecting to people to play, you know, with better teammates. That's just how I've always done it. But there's a few other ways inside of Brawl Stars if you don't have Discord. You've got clubs. If you've got a really active club, that can be a good way. But honestly, one of the most underrated ways is if you're playing ranked or if you're playing ladder, you can see if you go into your friends tab, well, like on the menu where you need to invite somebody, if you scroll down, it says recent teammates. You can go through brawler profiles, and if there's anyone good there, then you can just simply invite them. I've often actually done this when there's nobody online. It actually extends your friends list, so you've got even more people you can choose from. Again, I find this is even more useful when you're playing ranked, for example. You know, if you're at Masters, you know that, you know, there's some bad randoms up there, but most of the time they're of ample ability and they'll be able to at least be at a good level in ladder, right? So yeah, that's just multiple ways you can find people to play with. So now moving on to tip number 3, it's the easiest one out of them all, is to abuse the meta. Oh wow, oh my God, I've solved everything. That's it. You guys are going to get prestige free in every single brawler. But no, the reason why I'm saying this, so let's just break it down on how I've done it in the past as well. So it's very, very important to abuse the meta as much as possible. It's because metas change. So, for example, BB right now is obviously the most broken brawler in the game right now. But if you choose not to push her like everybody else is, and then, I don't know, some emergency nerfs happen. I'm not saying that she is going to get one right away, but eventually she will receive a nerf, right? And with BB, her past, she's been a D-tier brawler for a very long time, right? So it's probably going to happen again that she's going to receive a nerf and then fall off. But if you miss the wave and you didn't push her to Prestige 2, in the future, it's going to be much, much harder when you get around to it to push her. So even if, again, BB's one of my worst brawlers, but I just had to get her to Prestige 2 or Prestige 3 in the right now while she's strong, because metas will change. I used to do this in the past for rank 35s. I will try and primarily push the brawlers that are meta. And if you guys want to find out what's meta, there's no better place on YouTube than here. I'll put out a best 15 brawlers video already. I'm doing a brawler tier list tomorrow. So you guys, like, it's very obvious, but you just need to do it. And there's different metas in every single game mode, which we'll dive into a little bit later on. So tip number 4 is another website tip here. So this is actually to just check the meta for every single map pretty much, and there's no better place than Brawlify right now for it. So in terms of Brawlify, you can see on the screen, you can literally see the best picks. This is really handy. I just had a look because I used to do this on Brawl Stats back years and years ago, and I knew like either Brawlify or Brawltix would have something like this, but it's really handy. Just look at the UI, it's really clean. Best picks you can see by the win rates, and you can even scroll across here. I mean, win rates aren't everything, but you can see most used. Normally the most used brawlers, or even the most fun brawlers, like I don't know, Edgar, he's not actually that good, or the most meta brawlers, you know, Rico, very meta right now. You got Sirius, BB, these are very meta. You can also see the best teams. There's even a place to look at even more stats and whatever else. You've got, you know, Showdown, you've got all of these maps that are in rotation right now. The reason why I'm saying this is because, you know, I can give you guys as much meta information as possible, but maps and modes change every single day. And metas are dependent on that particular map. You know, literally, for example, you got Sneaker Fields, a very bushy map with where tanks are actually going to be a little bit better. But if you rewind back to yesterday, I don't know what the map was called, but it had a lot more walls. So I knew I could push my throwers on that map, for example. So this is just a quick way just to really decipher the meta. But it's very important because you always want to be pushing the strongest brawlers for each map. But I'll be doing videos on that in the future, guys. Don't you worry. Tip number 5 is all about yourself. Everybody is different in terms of their brawler pool. Even myself, even when I was a pro, a lot of people aren't really good at every single brawler inside of a game. I mean, some people can be good at most brawlers, but they'll always have a, I don't know, an archetype or a class that they're going to be better at than other classes. So, for example, for me, I'm better at control brawlers, damage dealers, snipers. Those are my types of brawlers I'm better with. I'm not good really at assassins. You know, I'm not good at playing a few tanks like Primo, BB, etc. So I know for a fact if I want to be having an easier time pushing trophies, I'm not going to be forcing myself to play the worst of brawlers. I mean, eventually you have to get round to it. And if you want to improve as a player, right, there's no shame in playing those brawlers. That's the best way to get better. But especially since the rework, it's always better just to simply, you know, play brawlers that you're more comfortable with / playing the meta. So again, I'll be looking to push my Ricos, my, those types of brawlers, Byron, Pipers, Bells, etc. Those are the brawlers that I'm best with. And those are the ones I'm going to focus on. Again, everybody's different. It's all about recognizing that and staying to that to that playstyle. Tip number 6 is all about knowing the best brawlers for that particular game mode as well. So I spoke about maps and how you can really, like, metas can definitely change, but it's also really handy to know the best brawlers for every single game mode because the meta is very different everywhere else. Again, there's a few websites. There's also, you know, videos that I'll be planning on helping you guys with this, but in theory, let me just quickly break down a few of them. So for example, gem grab, you always want like a solid mid, which is good against like assassin brawlers. So whether that's, I don't know, Bo's pretty decent there, but you got like Crow, you got Gus, you got Janet, etc. And then we know gem grabs full of assassin brawlers. So you've got like Lily, you've got Mortis, you've got Ali, etc. So that's gem grab. Brawl is very tanky right now, or anti-tank. So you want those aggressive brawlers or you want the big anti-tanks. In Heist, there's quite a few cheesy brawlers like Chuck. You've got Melody, you've got Miko. You've got good defensive brawlers like Cordelius, Charlie, etc. In Bounty, it's all about range brawlers. In Knockout, it's the same. Slow, passive, range snipers. In Hot Zone, it's all about zoning brawlers. You've got the likes of, again, both can be pretty good there. Ems. You've got all of these types of brawlers. Inside of Wipeout, again, it's very much like Bounty. It's all about knowing your meta and knowing your mode. The next tip is kind of repeating what I've already said in other tips, but I just really want to focus in on this, is that, again, that certain brawlers are better on certain maps. That's just a fact, right? That's always been a fact when you're playing ranked, but in particular in the in the prestige system, because every single day the maps will refresh, and you know for a fact. So Sneaky Fields is on right now. I know that I'm gonna be playing my tanks on this day, so I'm gonna be playing, I don't know, my Trunks, my BBs, my Dougs, my Balls, Franks, any sort of tank. I know I'm gonna have a good field day. Oh, would you look at the best tank counters? I know I'm going to have the best chance of pushing them as well. My Shelly is going to be insane on Sneaky Fields today, but she might not be good on the next map if it has a lot of walls. Again, I've spoke about this a lot, but it's just so important to push this way, because there's no better feeling of just getting a really high win rate with the brawlers that are really good on that particular map. So it's all about knowing that. For example, again, like Doug in 5 versus 5, he's going to be good when a particular Wipeout 5 versus 5 comes out. We've got like Rosa on a, Rosa can be good in particular in Brawl and Gem Grab, but there's a few sneaky, really underrated maps, literally like one yesterday, Knockout, I think it was Healthy Middle Ground or something like that, where you can teleport in and just destroy everybody with Rosa. So it's all about knowing the meta for each map. The next tip is one that I absolutely love when I'm trophy pushing, and again, this is prevalent just in the average meta, but also the meta of every single map. But it's about learning the counters for the meta. I almost said meta a million times in this video, but it's just very important. So again, a free way to push trophies. Let's take a look at Sneaky Fields again for today. Well, there's a lot of Bull, there's a lot of BB, there's a lot of Rico. Well, what's the best counters to BB right now? Everyone's probably asking that, but there's a few that I know straight away. You've got Lou, you've got Chester, you've got Shelly, you've got Bull, you've got Primo. I know even if some of these brawlers, so when I do my tier list, I know that Primo for a fact will probably be in the D tier or even F tier. But I know Sneaky Fields, there's so many tanks. There's going to be so many good matchups for Primo. Is there going to be a better map for Primo in the future? Probably not. So I might look to try and push my Primo today, because I know for a fact he's just so much better in this map than any other one inside of the game. So it's all about learning the counters. So meta brawlers are still really good, but most of the time they can still, even BB right now, she can still be countered. It takes a lot, but there are some really, really winnable matchups against her. So yeah, abuse counters to the meta too. Tip number 9 is just actually about the feeling of the prestige system right now. It's very different to a lot of the other trophy grinds. So with other trophy grinds, I mean, with the previous iteration, it was still quite a grind, and you could literally get like someone got a 70k trophy brawler, for example. It's not going to get to that state inside of brawler pushes, but it is a very long grind. It's definitely much harder and longer than rank 35. Rank 35 was just 1,250 trophies. Matchmaking times were quite long, but people could push rank 35s in 3-4 hours when a brawler was released, right? But now there's hardly any prestige free brawlers. You've got to grind 1,000 trophies per prestige. Matchmaking times are long, so just know the grind is going to be long right now. It's going to take a long time for people to catch up and eventually get all their brawlers to prestige 2. It could take a year, it could take 2 years to get all your brawlers to prestige 2. So it's just all about as well making sure you're setting certain checkpoints for yourself as well. Don't just burn yourself out and just be like, okay, I'm just pushing BB straight for a whole week and that's all I'm gonna do. Just don't, there's no rush in particular to get all your brawlers to prestige. I mean, I'm gonna do that, but as soon as you got like a few of your favorite brawlers to prestige 2, just push at a slower rate, because as well, when brawlers are at lower trophies, you're going to find much easier games. So just bear that in mind. So moving on to the final tip for this video. And again, it's another hilarious one, which a lot of people use to their advantage. So again, you literally take a look at the map rotation right now. It would have changed maybe if you watch this in a few days time. But there's a map in Gem Grab right now called Railroad Robbery. And it has 2 minecarts that go through it. That's just an unserious map. So you're not going to find the sweaty players or the pro players playing this map. They're just not going to play that because it's very uncompetitive. But this is where the casuals or just players that are worse than the pros, so even myself, I mean, I won't be playing this, but you get what I mean. You want to be pushing these types of maps and game modes because it's very unserious and is a way to get cheesy brawler ranks. So again, this is quite prevalent years and years ago, and it's still prevalent now. You've also got, like I said, you've got Brawl Hockey, you've got literally basketball. It's a very unserious game mode. Literally no pro is going to be playing that, so it's a good way. It literally ties into point number 1 to get free trophies, because only really randoms or, I don't know, your average 6-year-old is going to be playing this game mode. Well, you can beat those 6-year-olds and get loads of prestiges. Yes, I'm saying that. No, it's an easy way to get prestiges, guys, but that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Again, this is just like a quick one. It's not like an advanced guide. It's just a lot of it is probably just your general knowledge that you probably know already. But I can't stress enough just how easy it is to push prestiges when you know all of these tips. So that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys next time.